New York City, 1931. The window that was never opened. New York City, winter of 1931. The wind moved through the narrow streets of the Lower East Side, as if searching for something that had been lost. Factories ran at half speed. Streetcars passed by almost empty, and every hurried step carried a weight that came from more than just the cold. On the third floor of an old building on East Houston Street, there was a small, dark apartment that remained almost always silent. Its only window faced a narrow alley, and unlike all the others, it was never opened. That was where Eleanor Whitman lived. She was 34 years old, and she had learned how to exist without being noticed. Every morning, before sunrise, Eleanor woke quietly. She brewed weak coffee, put on the same worn coat, and walked down the stairs slowly, holding the railing as if every step might give way. She worked at a laundry 4 blocks away, where constant steam softened tired faces and erased the sound of thoughts. Few people knew anything about Eleanor. She received no visitors. She never spoke about her past, and she never, under any circumstances, opened that window. The neighbors only guessed. Some said she was a widow. Others believed she had lost someone in the war. No one asked. In 1931, everyone carried their own losses. At night, after work, Eleanor sat at a small wooden table. She lit an oil lamp and opened a drawer beneath it. Inside was an old envelope, yellowed, its edges worn by time. Inside the envelope were 2 things: a folded letter and a black and white photograph. She never read the letter all the way through. She always stopped at the same paragraph. It had been written in 1918, sent from France during the final months of the Great War. The name at the bottom belonged to Thomas Whitman, Herr Husband. He promised to return. He promised to open a small shop. He promised a simple life, but a whole one. Thomas never came back. News of his death arrived months after the war ended, delivered by a man who barely knew his face. Eleanor did not cry that day, nor the days that followed. She folded the letter, put the photograph away, and closed the apartment window. She never opened it again. That winter was one of the harshest. The laundry reduced its staff. Eleanor was given only 3 working days a week. The money barely covered the rent. One evening, when she returned home, something was different. A small package lay on the floor in front of her door. Inside were a pair of knitted children's gloves and a short note. I'm sorry for the mistake. Eleanor stood still for a moment, holding the gloves. They belonged to no one she knew, yet something about that small, accidental kindness. Someone leaving something by mistake, someone apologizing, cracked the silence she had carried for years. That night, Eleanor did not open the drawer. She walked toward the window instead. She hesitated. The alley outside looked the same. Brick walls, empty crates, the distant echo of the city. But for the first time, she touched the rusted latch. The window resisted, then slowly opened. Cold air rushed in, bringing sounds she had not heard in more than a decade. Distant voices, footsteps, the low whistle of a train, far away. Eleanor stood there for a long time, not waiting for anyone, not searching for answers, only breathing. The next morning, she placed the children's gloves inside a paper bag and walked downstairs. On the first floor lived a young widowed mother who'd recently moved in with a small child. Eleanor knocked on the door. She did not give her name. She did not tell her story. She handed over the gloves and returned to the hallway. That day, when Eleanor left for work, she left the window slightly open, and for the first time since 1918, morning light entered her apartment. Some windows remain closed because they are broken. Others remain closed because they hold promises, and not all of them need to be opened at once. Some only need to let the air in.